Well, it's about that time. It is 6 minutes after the hour, and I think it's funny because guess what? It's not 5 minutes after the hour, which is what I normally do. I was engaged in a fun game of Dragon Ball Fighters. Hi, Chiro. How are you doing? Hello, everybody who is here. Let me get on the screen. Waboo! Oh my gosh, I left my Twitch integrated throwing system thing open. That's funny. Whew. Val in one tab, Phantom in the other. Oh, yeah, Phantom's live right now. So, boy howdy, that man is working hard. Oh, so today is a fun little... And so it begins. And so it begins. My demise. Thank you for that, Tathan. Oh, am I laggy today? Ugh, no. Oh my goodness, I'm laggy. Alright, hold on one moment. I'm gonna do this. I'm still alive, I'm still here. Fret not. Have no fear. In this economy? Yes, in this economy. Is that... No, I guess we have laggy Val today. That's all right. There we go. I guess we have laggy Val today. And that's okay. I used up all my bandwidth yesterday playing whatchamacallit, Lethal Company. Speaking of which, time to talk about our last stream, then our next stream, and then our stream today. So, yesterday... Wait, where? What? Ah, there he is! Wonderful, my wonderful co-host. Thank you so much, Phantom, for the raid. My gosh. What? Chiro, I just love how it says Chiro as a raider after just talking. And then we have Marie. Oh my goodness. Who's... What? Thank you for the follow, Arctic Shadow. You didn't have to do that. Oh my gosh. No, you should have gotten a free Dr. Pepper throwing. There we go. That one's on me. Soup is not a cereal. Chill. You didn't have to do that. Thank you so much for the follow. Let me hit you with a... There we go. I still need to go in Doodling Poodle. Why are people doing this? I didn't ask for this. And you can't redeem the bong. Well, you can redeem the bong. Did you see? Oh shoot, yeah, I need to see that. Sorry, I have it swapped over in my Discord. Let's see. I will defer that message to my mod Tathan because he knows more about that than I do. He knows more about that thing than I do, so I don't know what constitutes a good one. Also, is my stream being stupid? Well, there's that. Whoo, he isn't moving. Oh, so that was because I was looking at my phone. I was looking at I was looking at my phone. I swiped down like this to see my messages, and then it came back. So you redeemed an uwu. Oh, wow. I wish you would have saved that for the show, because then we would all do it. But I'll do that for you right now. You all right, you ready for this? Ooh. I'm not the best at it, but I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to relate to Val's emotes for the autism creature. Why is it named that? I want to know why it's named that. I just call it the yippee, like the yippee thing. So I don't know, man. I just work here. I just live. I just breathe. So anyway, talking about last stream. That was yesterday. Oh, forgot to say the last time. I didn't know how to feel about it. Oh, wait. Oh, yes, that's right. That. Whether he wanted his head or clothes. Probably best to disable text-to-speech during the interview. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I should probably do that. As much as I love you guys, text-to-speech during the show can sometimes get distracted. Thank you, Hive. I appreciate that. Or make it more than 100 CP channel points. Yeah, that's also true. It's also very true. So let's see, gotta love it. It's called that autism creature. That's a name. So yeah, last stream yesterday we played Lethal Company, and we got to have a lot of fun playing with Spider Marie, Robecaster, as well as our wonderful, wonderful previous guest Vega Lire. And let me tell you something. There's a lot of goofiness, a lot of funniness, and a lot of stupidity on my part, because I would always jump out of the ship as soon as we landed on the thing. And my Twitch thing does not want to work. In terms of, because I have a Twitch window open to my left, as well as my Streamlabs above me. I wonder if my internet today is just being weird. Is the stream like still working for people? I just want to ask that. Love jumping off the ship. Because I guess in my browser, I don't think my browser's wanting to work. It's committing not alive. It looks fine. Wonderful. So there's that. All right, well, I won't worry too much. I won't worry too much about that unless it just completely crashes. Let me snooze those. So that was yesterday. Tomorrow, for tomorrow's stream, we're going to be playing Lethal Company again. We're going to be doing it. I see you just great. Thank you, Doodling Doodle. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. So tomorrow we're going to be playing Lethal Company with Cynical Beanicle, and I'm super pumped. I'm super excited. She said that she's been playing a lot and she's been really enjoying it. So I am super pumped. I still need to find 2 other people who want to play that, unless she already has people who are going to play with us. So that'll be super fun, and I'm looking forward to that. After that, there will be no streams for the rest of the week, because I'm going to be spending time with my family for Christmas, and that'll be super fun. So with that said, this is actually a pretty quick intro. Actually, I've realized recently that for the most part, especially with the VOD, I have been good on time in my introductions, because since I started about 5 minutes after, I probably spent about 5 minutes talking about the previous stream and maybe 5 minutes talking about the next stream, which rounds that out to about 6 hours 15 in my time zone, which works super well and is super consistent. So yeah, with that said, with that in mind, we're going to be talking about today's stream, and that is, we are going to be talking with somebody who is very near and dear to me. So if you are coming from Phantom Stream, or you were here previously, just before, something about Phantom's community is that one of his mods that he has is somebody who, and people he plays with, is somebody who he knows very well IRL, and so they're IRL friends, and that's his relationship with them. Now, it's much like that for me with our guest today, where this wonderful individual, he and I have known each other for, you know, a couple of years now, and fostered a really good and really fun friendship. And so he's a very good guy and a very reliable and dependable one. So I can't talk highly enough about him. His name is going to be mentioned later, because I have my little intro that I like to do, but it'll be more clear when you see it. He is the individual that has created all of the things that you have seen here, aside from my model and the chat. But he has created all of these wonderful layouts that I have, and with that, it's something I could truly not do this without. And so I am getting flustered and stumbling over my words, because it's hard for me to not be so thankful for how much he has contributed to this channel. Without him, the entire It's Valentine brand would not work. So with that said, today we'll be welcoming our wonderful, wonderful artist of one of the wonderful, but the main artist of this channel. Now, he's a dude who just can't get it together and makes up for it with his design skills. His words, not mine. Now, I don't even think you can consider him a streamer. Again, his words, not mine. I consider him a streamer, and a wonderful one at that. But nonetheless, he snuck his way into the studio. He is an artist and a designer who streams occasionally when he gets the chance. This is the wonderful Apophis Nova, or Nova for short. Again, Apophis Nova is my wonderful, wonderful artist who has done a lot of work for me. And he's just so great. Like, my favorite thing that he's done is this entire thing. I did the text, but just this lovely background you see is what he made. And this is my Be Right Back screen. And I love it. Like, it's such a talented artist. I can't talk highly enough about him. So with that said, please welcome our wonderful, I like the Phantom Frame. Ah, that's right, the Phantom Frame. Oh, such a wonderful, wonderful piece of art. Not only that, we'll talk about that when we get right in. So yeah, without further ado, our wonderful guest today is Apophis Nova. Woo! Gotta give it a second to load. There it is. How are you doing, both of you two?
Doing fantastic. Doing fantastic, Alex.
I was like, what is this voice he's doing?
What?
Just trying to have a little fun, man.
His voice or my voice? Our voice? We're sharing.
Maybe both. I don't know.
Oh, that's fair.
One brain cell.
Also,
Singular brain cell.
For those watching, our wonderful guest Apophis is the one who helped design and created this entire set. I initially made the mock, like the sketch, the mock-up of it, and then Apophis here was the one who was able to turn it into a reality. And my favorite thing that I have to talk about is the Minecraft desk. It just looks so cool. Like, I don't know how you did it.
Minecraft desk.
I don't know how you did it.
I made a bunch of blocks, and then I offset the blocks, and I changed their colors, and I added some shadows, and then you get Minecraft desk.
And yes, Hive, that is a JJK outfit, because 'tis the season for
It is
for JJK. Because when you're an artist, you could make whatever clothes you want. So
long as you can draw them. We're still figuring that part out.
Still figuring the drawing out.
Yeah, just it'll definitely end up changing at some point, but we're working it one step at a time.
So when's the shirtless one coming?
Sometimes you gotta take it one step at a time, man. That's all you can do.
Yeah,
that's all you can do. Probably never, because I just no.
Well, because I just imagine from the JJK outfit, as soon as that shirt comes off, you'll just look like Toto, and just be absolutely ripped and muscular underneath.
I wish I could be like Toto in real life, dude.
Everybody
would be like, I mean, minus the part where he's like 16 years old, but yeah.
For me, it's just I want Xander Mobus's voice. Just steal
you and me both.
Steal the essence. For those that don't know, Xander Mobus, the voice actor for the character Toto in Jujutsu Kaisen, also does the voice of the Smash announcer in Smash Ultimate, and also most famously known as the voice of Joker in Persona 5. So yeah, that's who he is.
I didn't know he was the Smash announcer. That's cool.
Yeah, he was a Smash.
I didn't know he was Joker.
Yeah, he's the announcer in Smash Ultimate, and he riffs on that a lot, because he finds it to be a really funny role that he somehow landed. His words. So, now...
he's also, he's the other guy in Jujutsu Kaisen. He's, Toge?
He's,
Inumaki?
Yeah, Inumaki. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he says salmon, and roe, and seaweed, and kelps.
Yes.
So, I'd love to talk about this, but we need to ask our very first question, and it's, dare I say, our most important question here, and that is, Apophis, who are you, and what is your story?
I mean, like, every other person that's been on the VOD is like an actual VTuber, and I am not that. I straight up made that. I was messaging Val. I made this like a week ago, with no intention of ever being on the VOD. I was like, hey, streaming would be fun, but I don't like what's the coined term, VoidTuber? Is that the
FleshTuber?
ever so famous
That's
flesh?
that-
No, not
well, I use
FleshTuber.
VoidTuber for if someone has literally nothing to represent them. Like if they're just like, if they just have like a name and their logo is literally just like their name in word art or something.
Okay.
That is a VoidTuber because they're speaking from the void. The abyss is speaking to you.
Okay, so
Someone with the face cam.
what you're saying is I just need to drop all of the branding and then just put Apophis Nova and Comic Sans in the top right corner.
Exactly.
Perfect. Love it. Who I am, I mean, I'm an artist. That's pretty much what it boils down to. I like streaming every once in a while. I kind of have had an urge to stream Halo, and I've done like, I don't even think you can consider the second stream an actual stream because it was like 15 minutes. But
Oh, that was an actual stream.
That happens.
I like playing games. I like drawing. That's pretty much it. I have a degree in graphic design, and that's pretty much me. I'm not a super complex person.
So when you were starting
So
this,
would you say that graphic design is your occupation and your passion?
Yeah, it's kind of the whole thing of like, if you like what you do for work, then you'll never work a day in your life. That's kind of the vibe I'm going for. But right now, art is definitely more of the passion than the job. But I mean, regardless, I still love it whenever I get to do it.
is there anything recently that you can think of that pertains to streaming that you'd want to do and incorporate within your art and your art style? Like, for instance, you created all of this for me. And I'm wondering what all you'd have in mind if you're just wanting to stream a little more, what ideas you might have.
So the big thing that I've been doing is like I had some art skills pre-established just because I drew like all the time when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But back in April, I started to kind of take it a bit more seriously, and there's an artist that I really
Sorry. No, I gotta follow.
Oh, someone followed you.
Thank you, Kilo. Hold on, I gotta do this. Oh, there's that.
The Dr. Pepper.
Wow, is that still broken?
What was that?
Is the follower thing still broken where it's not shooting at you yet?
It's broken in the aspect that I've just been lazy and haven't been fixing it.
Oh, I got you. I know that feeling.
Consider this. Why? Phantom, not you too.
But look, at some point I've got to jump in because I've got the points. I have the receipts. I have the receipts. Yeah.
Wait, like my dream is
I
just
I feel
What?
like it's funny because you're like, yeah, I don't even consider myself like a streamer or like a VTuber. Like, I mean, when I was just saying earlier before raiding in that I was describing the VOD to the people that were watching my stream beforehand, and I was like, when like we don't really care about size because size doesn't matter. And more so than that, when I was on the VOD, when I went on, I don't even know if I was affiliate yet.
yeah.
No.
I'm pretty sure I wasn't. So I had streamed like maybe 2 weeks at that point. So I think it's very funny when you're just like, yeah, like, oh, I don't really consider myself a streamer. It's like, well, yeah, I wasn't either. Like,
Yeah.
and no one really is until they decide that they are and they start streaming, somewhat consistently.
Yeah, that's true. I think it all kind of comes down to like, is this something that, personally, do I want to pour the resources and the time into, or is it kind of just one of those things where it's like, hey, I have some free time, why not, go on Twitch and just, stream the stuff that I want to do? Because I mean, like, specifically for like you and Val, it's very much like this is part of like your life now. Like,
Oh yeah,
it's
absolutely.
part of you. You do this almost every day. Whereas like me, I don't, at least at this point in time, I don't really have that like that desire or that passion to
Mhm.
put this like into a part of my life, at least where I'm at now. I
Or
could
even the
definitely
band.
see it. Yeah, or the bit, like I could definitely, maybe down the road at some point seeing myself, doing this a little more frequently, but um it's definitely not, I'm not going for affiliate right now. I'm not, focusing on building stuff up. It's just kind of like, if I have the the want that day, I do it, but there's usually so much other stuff I have to do in a day that it just kind of gets on the back burner.
Yeah. Well, and that's something that for me, because for the first months I streamed, I did every single day, and I did almost. I think I did almost a minimum of 4 hours just about every day. I think there may have been 4 or 5 days where I didn't. Two of them were the hotel streams. Three of them were like either I had the VOD also or something else was happening. But I streamed every single day during October.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like, "Hey, you've got to be getting burnt out. Why don't you take it easy?" And I was like, "For me, it's different. I like streaming. I was trying to go live yesterday. My wife told me I couldn't
Yeah.
because she wanted my time. Regardless, I came downstairs. I jumped in Discord, started talking to people, and I think we had like 9 people talking in Discord at once.
That's awesome.
It was super fun. It was super fun. But the for me, I don't really think that like I think that brings up like an interesting point of like you were saying like, yeah, I don't really consider myself this or I don't consider myself that because I don't have the time or the money. Like so I guess we should really start by defining where do we draw that line of streamer versus someone who is streamed or someone who likes to stream. Where do you think that deviation begins, or do you
For
have an idea of like criteria that you in your head use to say, okay, I would consider this person a streamer versus this person who I think like, or I would consider this to be a hobby.
so for me personally, I've kind of looked at it as like, you know, affiliate is like that's the goal for like most people when they start. So I would probably say when someone makes that decision that they want to go for it and they commit to it and they're staying consistent is kind of where you would kind of draw that line. Because if someone's like, oh yeah, I want to go for affiliate, and then they stream 3 times and then they just stop, I wouldn't consider that person like an actual
Sure.
like streamer in the sense of kind of what we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, and I think that there's a difficulty here where if you're saying someone's not a streamer, that's seen as like a diss or as like,
Oh yeah,
like,
absolutely.
because there's a negative connotation to saying you're not a streamer or you're not
Yeah.
a streamer. But
I think partially it's also someone who streams like for fun, like that's super fun, but like to me it's you're a streamer when, and this could be, very very naive of me, but like when you could make money on it, because it's like I don't think I'd say it's equivalent, but like an actual artist versus someone who draws, like that kind of, I feel like you could call yourself more of like an actual, I don't know, I feel like that's gonna get into some back and forth that's probably not the best, but I'm not putting a good face on for all the artist people out there.
See,
No, you're good.
You know what's interesting is, as we're talking about this, it's reminding me of a lot of the self-talk I would have when I was planning my VTuber stuffs and debuts and whatnot. And it was, I feel like it's one of those things where once you start and do it, you are that thing. And this is my opinion on it, through that I would always say before I debuted, I'm like, because I'm not a VTuber, if I'm not streaming, I'm not a VTuber, I haven't streamed yet, and so I can't call myself a VTuber. And so and that's just that negative self-talk I had. And then as soon as I went live that debut, I instantly looked at myself. I said, "You're now a VTuber, and you know you are a streamer. You're a content creator. Now, what happens after that could change, and that could very well be a different attitude and mindset. But in that moment, I was Val. I became the VTuber, the streamer, the content creator, and the fembat bottom. So it's one of those things, in my opinion, where once you start it, that's what you are. Because you know, if you comparing a quote unquote artist to somebody who draws art, it's like, well, if you draw something, you're an artist, regardless of what it is. And you know, some people could, of course, debate semantics and be like, well, just because you pick up a basketball and shoot a ball doesn't make you a basketball player. I'm like, well, then, you know, at that point,
I think
it's subject to personal acceptance.
Yeah, I think that's partially the way that I put it. I think that's how I view myself a lot. But I think what it comes down for a lot of people is that, you know, the decision that you make to do it is kind of like, if you make that decision and you're consistent with it, I think that's kind of where that line is.
Then what do you think?
Yeah, and I think that I think it's also one of those things where, like, some people will debate, like, okay, well, like, yes, if you draw, the moment you put pen to paper, you're an artist. However, like, people are like, but you're not a professional artist. You're not a professional artist until you sell something. But then the question becomes, okay, well, are you a professional artist because your mom gave you $15 for your macaroni art that you did in kindergarten?
Yeah.
Are you an artist because you sell your stuff on a regular basis and it's how you make your living? And
Yeah.
so I think that there are so many different ways to define it that it's just not fair to categorize it into, oh, like I'm not a streamer, but like for me personally, if I were to go up to someone on the street, it's not a secret. People have seen my face. People don't know my full name or where I live, but you know, there's very little mystery left.
It's John.
Yeah.
It's John the
And I
Phantom
kinda like
Fame.
it
That's
that
your
way.
name.
Yeah, John Phantom.
John Halo.
John Halo.
So for me, it's very much like if I were walking to someone on the street, and they say, "Hey, what do you do?" I would not say that I'm a streamer.
Yeah.
However, if I were talking to if I was talking to someone online and say I was playing like Rocket League or something, and I really hit it off with someone, and we got in a voice chat, and they're like, "Yeah, well, what do you do?" I might even just be like, "Yeah, well, I'm a VTuber. Like, that's usually what I do in my free time. Like, this is just me kicking back, or like this is a stream, like blah 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 blah." Like, so I think it's something that it's like you adjust. It's the same way you code switch to different audiences.
Yeah.
Or to talking to different people. If I am talking to one of my friends who uses a lot of slang, I will start using a lot of slang because I know that's what they're most used to. That's what they're most comfortable with. If I start talking to my grandma, I'm going to cut that shit out right away.
Yeah.
I'm going to mind my tongue. And I'm not going to say shit that's going to make her pass out or fucking give her the final heart attack.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm going to watch myself. And
Yeah.
I feel like this is very similar where we're so quick to beat up on ourselves and be like, well, I'm not a streamer because I don't make money on it. Well, have you streamed?
Yeah.
Yes. Are you active in the streaming communities? Yes. You're a moderator. You're an artist for another popular and growing streamer and a streaming channel, the VOD.
Yeah, the Phantom Fame. Sorry.
Yeah.
Chime in on that one.
I mean, how can you look at like something akin to this right here and not immediately be captivated by the Phantom Frame?
Yeah. Sorry.
Because it's so beautiful, and it's like, so just because I didn't pay you for this and you did this because you thought it would be a funny thing to do, does that mean you're not an artist because this was just a goof, because it was a gaff? No, it doesn't. You made art, And regardless of whether or not I decided to use it, which I am because it's fucking like you're an artist because it's something that you do and it's something that you enjoy doing. It's something you do in your free time. It's something you can do for work. And I think that there is a really tough line to draw, but I think the line we draw should really be when we claim that title rather than if we have that title. Like when you were making the comparison to like, oh well, I know how to play basketball. If I go down to my local park and I shoot a basket, am I a basketball player? I don't go down to my park and just like start shooting some hoops. So I would definitely not say I'm a basketball player. However, if I walked down and I saw someone else playing basketball, my first inclination would be, oh, well, they're a basketball player. Why is Phantom? I'm the Phantom Frame Robe, in case you were curious.
I think for me in this case, I think it's mostly about like, what do I identify as more? Yes. I would identify as an artist way before I would identify as a streamer. Like if I streamed, I would be an artist who happens to stream instead of a streamer who happens to draw. Like that would kind of be my route.
Yeah, I think it also leads into like, how do you introduce yourself? Are you the type of person that just like, if I walk up to someone and they're like, hey, who are you? What do I tell them? Do I say, hey, I'm a man. I'm an American. I'm a husband. Like I'm a streamer. I'm a gamer. I'm a musician. I'm a comedian. I'm a dungeon master. Like what? I have so many hats I can put on and take off. Like which one do I start with? Do I give them multiple? Do I say, oh, well, I'm just a regular dude from, you know, like this, I'm a regular DM gamer from, you know, the United States of America. Oorah. Like, you know, like, I think it really comes down to the person. Because I would, if you were to ask me, are you a streamer? I would say yes. Yeah. I would say you are someone who's active in the Twitch community and you do stream. Now, is it frequent? No, it's not terribly frequent. Is that a problem? I don't think so. I know plenty of people that don't stream super frequently. I still consider them streamers because I know when they do stream, they're putting their effort in, they're doing what they can, and even if they're just phoning it in, they're still streaming. It's still, like it still takes time and effort to launch a stream, to get it up and running, and to maintain it. Even if you're doing it at the most basic level, like it's not as simple as it's not the most simple thing in the world. Yeah. And I agree with you where I think once you put in effort, that's when it changes. But I think that, you know, there's a low threshold, in my opinion, for when you're a streamer. There's a high threshold for when you're a good streamer. Yeah. And for sure. I also don't think that just because you don't stream often means you're a bad streamer. In fact, I think it would just mean that there's no way to tell if you're a bad streamer. It really comes down to that self-identification, and not only yourself, but how others see you. Because if other people view you, if you come to me and you say, "Hey, I am an artist, and you know, I love to do art. I'm not really a musician, but like, you know, like my art is my passion." And then 17 other people come up to me and like, "No, dude, this guy's got some singing pipes. Like he's fantastic. His fucking art is shit though. Like I would never buy that in a million years. I'm not going to consider you an artist. I'll call you an artist to your face. I'm going to consider you a musician." Yeah. So I think there's an interesting balance there between public opinion and your own value, where it's kind of like nature versus nurture, where it's like it's not 100% one or the other. There's an in-between, there's a balance where you can kind of, there's like a push and pull where you can keep saying like, I'm an artist, I'm an artist, I'm an artist, I'm not a streamer. When I'm looking on Twitch and I'm like, oh yeah, you actually have like some form of a following, like you are a streamer, like you do have followers. Because there are people where you'll just look in Twitch chat, you'll click on them and it's like 0 followers and you're like, all right, that person's definitely not a streamer. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Pardon me. Do you mind if I throw my 2 cents in there?
I would hope you would. You know me, I'll talk forever if people won't stop me.
So it's interesting that all of this is being brought up, because for me personally, I this is a long-standing internal debate that I've always had, that I've always talked to people about when it comes to voice acting, because audio engineering is my passion, or it's what I do, but voice acting is what I do on the side, and voice acting is what I want to do as a job, in addition to being an audio engineer. Now, and the thing is, I've done a decent amount of work. Now, would it be? Am I doing it for big studios? No. Am I doing it for clients, for commercials, for local TV, for radio? Yes. Do I have a portfolio? Yes. But am I doing it? Am I a name that has been on something everybody knows? No. Now, and the reason why I bring this up is because I have this little thought of what then defines, what separates an amateur from a professional, and is using the nomenclature of amateurs and professionals, is using that good and appropriate for the quality of work people do. Because recently, I've stopped using the terms amateur and professional because I felt as though it feels rather redundant and reductive, in that
Reductive, definitely.
because what separates somebody who is a quote-unquote professional versus somebody who's an amateur? Because in my eyes, all it comes down to is what title you want to give yourself. And because I've done a lot of stuff that is well within my sphere, can I truly say I'm a professional voice actor? And that's where it comes in, is, are you comfortable accepting that title, knowing that, oh, well, I haven't done X, Y, and Z that warrants it, and so now there's no guidelines for it. There's no rules or requirements. So the same thing goes for something like being an artist or being a VTuber or a streamer, what kind of standards or requirements are you holding yourself to qualify for being a professional? Because then you have to ask, what defines being a professional? And I feel like if people are able to brush past the whole amateur versus professional monikers, I think at that point people can start to move a little more into that road to self-acceptance, where they're like, I'm not a professional artist, I'm just an artist. Because at that point, you're no longer putting yourself in a wall and labeling yourself as such. Instead, you're just accepting, I'm an artist, that's who I am. I don't need to show, or I don't need to prove to anybody that I'm a professional, and I don't need to prove to myself that I'm more than an amateur. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So at least that's my 2 cents on the whole issue. So if anybody's feeling that internal conflict of whether or not you think you are something, at the end of the day, it's your feeling and your recognition as to what it is, and it's the requirements that you impose on yourself in whether or not you fall into this category that you want to be engaged in. So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
I kind of feel like I mean it's kind of like what you were saying. It's all up to personal interpretation. Like in terms of like the graphic design space that I live in, there's a lot you can do with your own like your own outlook on where you think you're at.
Yeah. But
there's also extreme benefit from outside opinion. So like going to someone else and with proven experience and saying, hey, here's where I'm at, where do I stack up against other people that you've seen? Because I kind of agree that the whole thing of professional versus amateur can be pretty redundant, but at the same time, I think it depends on the space you're in and kind of the field that you're in.
My gosh, Brandon, why do you do this to me?
He does it to everyone. That just means he likes you. The dog humps your leg.
Whenever this happens, I can't hear anyone talk. All I hear is That.
Oh, so that's when we need to pick on you.
Yes.
Yes. It's something else that came to mind is that there's so much there's so much comparison going on in just this world today. How's my day going? You see how my day's going? I'm taking about 75 cans of Dr. Pepper. Wait, no, that's all of it. I think that's 50 cans. I'm taking 150 cans of Dr. Pepper to the face. Pardon me, 151. Excuse me, Apophis. Sorry about. Make that 152. But back to my thought. And here we go again.
It's so good. It's so good.
I've talked
Thanks,
about
buddy.
I talked about this before, is that whenever I get interrupted or something like that, I always start my sentences back over. And so if
You restart the entire thought, and it's it's a reboot, and it's my favorite thing you do.
so it just one must imagine Sisyphus happy. That's how it
Yep.
feels.
Your twin.
And I love it. Yeah, it's my twin. There's so much comparison out there in the world today, and it especially happens in the content world, because one of the things that I saw recently is, you know, people are celebrating and having so much fun sharing their Twitch recaps. There's other people who are having, you know, that are just seeing that and they're just getting so sad and depressed, because you'll have somebody who's like got 50 streams and they maybe only got 20 new followers because of it, if they're lucky. And then you look at somebody who had like 9 streams and they got like 50,000 new followers. And so it's really hard, like for some people it's really hard to look at that and be like, thank you, Chiro. It's really hard
To not compare.
yeah, and not compare. And in my eyes, it brings me just a quote that is just, comparison is the thief of joy. And because as soon as you start to compare yourself to other people, and especially their accomplishments, you suddenly forget where you are, where you came from, the hard work you did, and then you start to doubt yourself. And it's so sad to see people fall into that trap of comparison. It's envy, you know, where people just they don't seem to have a strong enough faith in their own wonderful capabilities. And it's just sad we see that more and more, because when I see something like that, I see it as an opportunity of, wow, look how far I came and look how much work I did, as opposed to, look at this person, they did 4 streams and now they have 5,000 new followers versus my 50 and I only got 20. It's like, well, if you're going to look for all that stuff and look in the bad in it, you're going to find the bad. Whereas instead that was in 1 year, I was able, in my unique talents and my unique personality, I was able to make friends with 20 new people. And I made a lasting impact in their life that they want to see what I will do next. Because 20 people, that's a lot. 20 people is a lot of people. Like, yeah,
The full room.
like 5,000 people is a lot, but 20 people in a room, that's a party. That's a big party.
Yeah.
So
No, I 100% agree.
it's all about
And,
perspective.
Yeah, I think perspective is incredibly important. But I do think it's healthy though to have some level of like, oh wow, like that person got this much. How did that happen?
But that's admiration.
because-
That's not comparison.
Well, right, but you have to compare to admire, right? You have to realize that they have something you do not. I think that's something where I think that part of the issue I have with just being like, yeah, well, you got this and this is great and you did good. I think there's room for positivity, and I think there's also needs to be the acknowledgement that there's always going to be someone better than you, right? That's just a given. There's always going to be someone better. There's always going to be someone worse. But you also need to realize that that's also a great opportunity to improve and to see that, hey, someone else is getting bigger faster than me. How is that happening? And that's something that I actively do all the time. And it's not that I'm putting myself down, but I'm watching my peers, people that I have a lot in common with, especially with things like Like on Twitch, you can actually see where you have shared viewership.
Yeah.
And so you can kind of use that as tools for comparison. I do all the time because that's how I have started to like change directions or like know if the direction I'm moving in is the correct direction. That's how I'm starting to like tailor my streams. I mean, it's difficult because you're kind of guessing when and where the when and where you need to be, how you need to do things, and sometimes you're going to get it wrong. But I think that there is also a lot of people out there who are sort of satisfied um, with things the way they are, and there's so much room for improvement. And sometimes they know that, and they're doing it as a hobby, and they don't mind. And there are other times where people just aren't aware of how severe an issue can be. For me, a big one is audio. Audio for me is massive. If I go into your stream and you are so quiet I can't hear anything, or like you talk and then I realize that I can't hear anyone else you're streaming with, I'm not even gonna stick around. I'm gonna move on because there's no unless they are going to listen to chat and try to fix it on the spot, which some people do, great. Some people can't, like and it's all like, understandable. But there are plenty of streams where I've jumped in and I've been like, cool. I've been eyeing up this person for a long time. I really want to get them on the VOD. I really want to collaborate with them. I want to see what they've got. And I go in, and then it's just like it's just a disaster in one aspect or another. There have been some where people aren't acknowledging chat, which was a mistake I made when I was flesh tubing 2 years ago. Is that I treated it like a YouTube video instead of treating it like a Twitch stream, and nobody felt like interacting. Nobody showed up, and I didn't understand that that's why things weren't going well. Is because I was treating it like the way I had seen huge streamers do it, where they can't acknowledge chat because there's too many things going by. And I think that there are some people that will look at those growth and they'll say like, oh damn, like I'm not growing as fast as this person, I'll never get there. Like, and that's the totally wrong way to look at it, because what you should be looking at is, oh, this person got this much more. Well, this is what I got. Is it just circumstantial, or is there something I could have done, or something I can do better yet, to try and improve these numbers? Because there's always room, and there's always going to be someone who knows what you're missing, who watches your streams. You just have to get them to talk to you. You have to find a place where you can comfortably sit down and say, hey, I know that you've been watching my content, or I know that you're also a content creator. Can you like help me figure out what's going on with XYZ? Because I feel like this isn't up to snuff. And in the VTubing space, it's almost 9 times out of 10, it's going to be chat interaction, audio, or it's going to be like the actual like model or like the branding. Like there's going to be something where it's like, aesthetics, sound, or interaction are like the big ones.
Yeah, no, that's it. Pardon me. That is it's a very valid thing to focus on. And something I was thinking about with that is, this is more of a question for Apophis, because knowing you as personally, you're a very thorough individual, and especially when it comes to your art and your work, you are very much invested in whatever you are doing in a project. When it comes to doing something like streaming and content creation, do you carry some of those, what qualities do you carry from your graphic design work and your graphic design qualities into that of streaming?
I don't know. I feel like I wish I could give you like a straight answer, but like I've streamed, a couple times over the years, but I mean, I feel like I haven't had enough like chat interaction to know like, hey, this might be going well, this might be going well. I mean, like you said, I like to have everything be like the best that it can with what I have. But like when I was, I don't know, it was probably a month ago when I was streaming like Halo, I was trying to get everything figured out, and I have an ultra wide monitor, and I knew that wasn't going to work out streaming
so
with,
does Phantom.
I know Phantom does, and so I was like, it's not gonna, you know, this resolution isn't gonna work, and I don't want, you know, black bars on the top and the bottom, and then everything to be so small that if like someone was watching on their phone, they couldn't see anything. And so, you know, I had to go in. I have to play windowed, which I hate. I hate playing things windowed, especially when I can have, you know, all of this beautiful ultra wide, glorious FOV, whatever you want to call it. But then I kind of like made the switch. I'm like, oh, I could do that, but when I can have it windowed, like I had Streamlabs pulled up behind the window so I could see chat on my ultra wide screen without having to look to my other screen, which was like really nice. It was something I hadn't thought of until the moment, but like I am, most artists are this way, but like I'm very nitpicky. Like even sitting here now looking at the drawing of the model I did, I'm like, there's like 4 things that just look so off to me that I could fix. I know, and it's like it's the whole deal of like,
worst it gets.
Yeah, it's like an artist's worst critic is themselves, which is like 100% true. Like that is the most accurate thing I've ever heard. But like, I don't think there's anything specific that I could say, just besides, you know, the fact that I like things to work out. And like I know Phantom came into that stream and he was like, hey, you might want to play around with these things, which I'm not like Val. I don't know audio to save my life. I make things look pretty.
Neither do I.
I don't make things sound good.
I also don't know audio.
But I like to have things be in a spot where people can enjoy them to like the best of their ability. So like I usually rely on, you know, outside comments to be able to actually get to that point.
Yeah.
I don't know if that answered your question or if that was like a totally random tangent.
No, I think it does. Thank you. I will hydrate. No, I think it does answer that question, because when it comes down to it, the biggest thing I feel like for an artist to transfer into different mediums is just that level of perfectionism that they expect in their respective field. Because for instance, when I remember when I was going into Phantom streams, when he debuted, the first thing that I noticed was like, oh, there's a couple of sound things that really stick out to me. For instance, the stereo mixing was a little wonky. There was noise gating going on that was a little heavy, and there was one more. I want to say it was the
stupid fucking voice was ugly, and I hate it.
And the reason why I'm citing these specifically, is because it's when you have somebody come in and help you with that, it's a make or break, I think, as a streamer, is when somebody says, hey, this is what's going on. Not necessarily here's how you fix it, but take a look at this and see what you think. And ultimately, it's up to the streamer to decide. That way you're not saying, your stream sucks, here's how to fix it. It's, hey, I'm noticing this. Maybe see about checking this out. And if it sticks, it sticks. It's cool. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You do you. That is the best thing you can do.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, you did that to me when I was streaming Halo. You, like, sent me... It was either... You were either in Twitch chat or you sent me a message on Discord, but you're like, hey, dude, go into your Streamlabs settings and go look at this one exact thing, because I think it was like
downmix mono.
It was like, yeah, it was mono, and you were like, hey, you need to change that, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. Thanks.
Yeah.
So it's that, you know, outside source. Don't, like, if you know somebody that knows what they're doing more than you do, don't try to force yourself to figure it out. Just be like, hey, man, I don't know what I'm doing. You do. Please help. I'm I'm a sad little boy, and I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, it shows a level of vulnerability as well as humility, which I feel like as a content creator and a streamer, it is very important to have, because if you don't have that humility, you then start to suffer from the I know better than you and I don't need to listen to you, where you start to shut people out. Now, that's not to say that everybody knows better than you and you need to take everything they say at face value, but it's more having the common sense to be like, maybe that doesn't add up. I'll think about it and take a look at it, but nothing says I have to say yes to it. Because the thing is, when I was talking with Phantom and we were looking at those audio settings, he was like, well, I like this, I prefer this. I'm like, that's totally fine. If you like that and you prefer it, that's your way how to run it. And who am I to tell you how to do your job? So it's ultimately up to preference. And some people, they just can't handle, they either can't handle the, maybe you should change this. And then on the other side, some people can't handle the, no, I think I'm good. You think you're good? You think you're better than my advice? And so it's definitely something on both sides that people definitely need to take into mind and consider.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, do we have anything else to add on that, gentlemen?
I don't think so.
I guess this is what we have to add on.
I live for the day where I have enough channel points that I can just constantly bombard Val for the entirety of an episode of the VOD. Maybe I'll save up for April Fools. We'll see.
Oh, yes. He says, for my joke for April Fools, I'm going to donate 50 subs. You should do that. No, I'm
You
just
wish.
April.
I ain't made of money, man.
I know. That's why. I'll talk about that later. So, here's the next group, kind of the section of questions that I have. Now, as an artist, as a graphic designer, you're on Twitter and you see things on Twitter, correct?
Unfortunately, but go on.
So, what are your thoughts on the current state of being a graphic design artist on Twitter, on a platform like Twitter, and using that to market yourself, considering there is a sea, there's a mountain of bots that bombard people? Like, if you're trying to get work, if you say the dreaded word commission on Twitter, you will all of a sudden get bombarded with so many things. And the reason why I sometimes use commission is, one, free bots to follow. I'm just gonna say that outright. I'm just gonna say, people who do that, they know what they're doing. Okay, it's
100%.
It's kind of, I'm just saying, that's not the main reason. And the thing is, the reason I say is because the art that I've been commissioning, that's how I've gotten it. Is say, hey, I want to have this commission where I want to do it like this. And the work that I get done are from people who have responded and actually be like, hey, I'm not a bot. This person can vouch for me. This is what I do. Here's my portfolio. And I'm like, oh, that's super cool. All right, let's work on something. And most of the art that I have commissioned came from those tweets. So they aren't just, they aren't empty tweets of just, yes, I know how to game the system. Just constantly make tweets about saying commissions and you'll get tons of follows. So what are your thoughts, doubling back on, what are your thoughts on being a graphic designer and trying to market yourself among the sea of bots and other graphic designers on platforms like Twitter?
I mean, anywhere you go these days, you're going to run into that, unfortunately. I remember back in, like, I don't know, 2017, kind of back when I had originally created, like, this, you know, online identity of Apophis Nova as, like, this, not just, like, you know, funny, silly Xbox gamer tag. I went through a couple different iterations of names because I wanted to do freelance graphic design and do some logos for people, because I gotten comfortable enough to market myself that way.
Yeah.
And the only real experience I have was back then, and the whole bot thing wasn't anywhere nearly as bad. I remember I had gone on to Twitter, and I think I might have put out a couple different tweets basically saying, hey, I'm a logo designer. If anybody has any designs they want, send me a message. And then I did like, you know, hashtag logo design, hashtag digital artist, blah blah blah. You know, back when, you know, hashtags mattered. And I remember this one guy, he was based out of, I think he was based out of Utah. He had a couple different brands, and he was like, hey man, I really need like a flyer designed for this music festival. So I was like, okay, cool. And he's like, how much do you want? And I was like, you know, back then I didn't know how to, I still don't know how to charge for things. But I was like, I don't know, $20. And he's like, okay, sure. Which that led to a couple months back and forth of me working on various projects for him. But like today, I feel like that would be like a 1 in 100, you know, opportunity for someone, you know, especially starting out. Like I probably had 7 followers on Twitter. Like I, you know, bottom of the barrel, fresh little graphic designer who thinks he can, you know, own the world. But I think, and it goes into it goes into kind of what you would do in real life if you're looking for a job, and it's just networking. You know, you don't always have to make it about, you know, I'm here to push my agenda, I'm here to find jobs. Just like interact with people, like build a relationship with somebody, and then just kind of have it out there that they know, oh hey, this person is a designer, this person can do this stuff. I'm like, it's kind of like, besides the fact that we actually know each other, like when you sent me like that first message like, hey, I want to do this talk show, do you think you can help me out? That's not just because, you know, I'm some random person that you found on Twitter. It's because we've built a relationship and we know each other. You know what I can do. I think that's how you have to go about it anywhere you are. But like, go and interact with people on Twitter, and go and talk to people, interact, respond to their tweets, find other artists. I'm in like probably 5 different Discords just that are basically focused on art. So I think you just have to put yourself out there. Don't, you know, try to shove it down someone's throat, because that's all the bots do. They're like, oh, you say the word commission and I am never going to leave you alone ever again until you give me your money.
Oh,
you can't do it that way.
Do you think there's like certain roadblocks that prevent people from trying to do that networking? Because the one thing that comes to mind is just fear of rejection, of, you know, asking people into like, hey, you know, if you want art, I can do art, and you know, I'm reasonably priced, we can always discuss that. And then people are just afraid of either not getting a response or just openly saying no. Because like, for instance, I ask people, thank you, Nina, I ask people all the time on Twitter and on Reddit and in different servers, is that I reach out and I say, hey, my name is Val, I host a VTuber talk show and I'd love to have you on. And probably say 9 times out of 10, they either don't, they just don't respond. And then the 10th person is the one who says, yeah, I'd love to be on the show, let's do it. And so for me, it's like, the way I see it is, if I put myself out there, and I put my name out there, and I just say, hey, do you want to do this? The worst they could say is no.
Yeah. I think it's definitely different when you're on one side or the other, being, you know, the artist or the customer.
Yeah.
For me, the approach that I basically have gone about it is put your work out there, interact with people, get to know them, but having that work on display is what's gonna sell. It's your portfolio, that's what's gonna sell you, and that's what's gonna make someone want to buy something or a service from you. So I think that's a big thing. Another thing that I've been doing a lot is spread out across multiple platforms. So like I have my Twitter, I have an Instagram. I recently set up an art station, and it's the same art across all of the platforms, but it's just you're casting your net out further when you can do more things with that. So I think it's just you just gotta you gotta put yourself out there. So like I do a lot of, like, in real life, I do a lot of networking on LinkedIn, and so basically I like the opening message I would send, I would basically go graphic designers in my area, and then like, not to get like too like nerdy blah blah blah, but like LinkedIn is basically like you have your first connections, your second connections are people who you have like a mutual connection with. And so I'll basically go in, I'll filter it to my second connections, and then I'll go and I'll find somebody and I'll send them a message basically saying, here's who I am, here's what I do you want to talk? And it's like you said, 9 people out of 10 will either not respond at all, they'll reject my invitation because they have no idea who I am, or they'll respond and be like, oh yeah, I'd love to talk to you, let's set up a time. I did have one guy straight up reply to me and just say, who are you, why are you connecting with me, which I thought was pretty funny. But
I like the idea that like, a random guy came up to you and said, who are you and what is your story? Oh wait,
yeah.
that's me.
Yeah, and that's you saying that is kind of what made me think. I was like, I'm doing the exact same thing, just in a different space, and I had never actually like thought of that before.
Yeah. So yeah, you were saying.
No, that's pretty much it's just, cast a wide net and make sure that you're marketing yourself as somebody that can do the things that you want to do for people is what it comes down to.
Thoughts, Phantom?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. That actually works for VTubing as well, with like collaborating, because that is something I have been putting a ton of work into. I've been all over the damn place, where I have been getting in different circles, and then I have just been like, not just being like, oh, okay, so this is the person you collaborated with. That's neat. I'll drop them a follow and maybe I'll shoot them something. It's like, no, I will go through their social circles. I will look through theirs and be like, okay, like, who's in here? What are they about? Like, is there anyone I connect with? Oh shit, there's someone. There's someone that's like, I haven't seen before. What are they about? What do they do? Watch their content. We work really well together. I shoot them something where it's like, hey, I've watched your content. I like to overcome that, like, that who are you scenario. I will watch their content, interact in chat, and I'll usually wait until 3 streams, and then I'll reach out, and then I'll be like, hey, I've watched your stuff for a little bit. I also VTube. Like, I think we would work really well together. Like, I want to set something up. Is that something you'd be interested in? And usually, the nice thing is I have the privilege of having a back pedal, which is, hey, I'd really like to collaborate. If you're comfortable with collaborating with me, that's fine. I also co-host a VTuber talk show called the VOD, and we're accepting VTubers of all sizes. If that's something you're interested in, it's a really fun way to meet new people and kind of just like, it doesn't get your name out there necessarily, but it gets you more comfortable in that sort of setting. And it's a really fun thing. So like, if either of those interest you, like, let me know. And so I have a great way where, like you said, where people just come out and they're like, who are you? Or like, what are you doing? Like, some people are like, oh,
you?
Wait a minute.
Yeah, because like, let's be real. There are plenty of people that will just reach out and be like, hey, I want to collaborate. And you're just like, okay, like, what did you have in mind? And they're like, Fortnite.
Don't you disrespect Fortnite.
Look, I'm just saying that's that's like the most popular game on Twitch next to Lethal Company.
It's a good game.
I didn't say it wasn't. I'm just saying that there's a
Oh,
difference.
then play it with
between-
me.
Maybe I will.
I can dunk on Ariana Grande as Darth Vader, dude. What else do you want to ask for?
My guy, you can literally that voice. Are you talking about this voice?
Talking about validating his microphone.
Phantom, if you want more of a reason to play Fortnite, you can watch Darth Vader hit the gritty.
That doesn't interest me.
What do you mean that doesn't interest you?
That's Unity. Like
Yeah, but like you can't do that on people you just like pump shotgunned.
I don't like PvP that much. I'm not a PvP guy. Like
we can play Lego Fortnite.
Phantom. I have seen people. I was actually watching Bunny and Speed play Lego Fortnite the other day, and it looked like a lot of fun.
It's if you can get like a big group of people, like it'd be so much fun.
Oh,
I bet. It's just it's just one of those games where it's like it's not my cup of tea.
We'll make it your cup
That's
of tea.
fair.
He says Fortnite. The Fortnite cup of tea is essentially the teacup from that Giorno drank in part 5 of JoJo.
That's a jug I'm not going to chug. It's a no from me, dog.
Dang! Oh, that was smooth. That was smooth. Well,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Sorry,
I just
choking.
feel I feel like there's a lot of people that are just kind of they're disingenuous and they're just kind of in the game for themselves, and they see marketing not as a way to connect with people, they see it as a way to just increase their viewership. And the thing you got to realize is it's both. It really is both. I think it's unreasonable to be like, well, you should just be doing this for fun. Like, if you're collaborating with someone, like, no, you need to just be making friends with them. It's like, no, like, there is an aspect to it where it's like, hey, like, I want to work with you on this. I think it would be beneficial, and I think we could have a good time. Like,
Yeah.
it's the same thing for the hobby in general, where it's like, yeah, like, this is just a fun thing I'm doing right now. It's not making me copious amounts of money. It's I mean, with how much I'm spending on it, it's really not making me any money. It's losing me money because I'm spending so much on all the fun shit that I do.
#1 Twitch streamer.
Between games, subs, biddies, getting
Biddies?
artwork done, getting biddies. Yeah, but there's plenty of times where it's like, yeah, like, if I'm collaborating with you, it's like, I'm not just thinking like, oh, well, we'll be best friends and we'll do this and we'll do that and we'll have so much fun together. I'm like, we'll have a really good time, but also, like, I think our communities will merge well.
Yeah.
Because I've seen plenty of people that they collaborate and they have put zero thought into, does my community mesh well with this person? The same thing with raids, where I'll watch someone who's playing like Stardew Valley raid into Fortnite, and I'm like, dude, you don't know your audience. Like, you went from like, okay, like, today we're gonna make sure we're romancing Abigail because we haven't done this one yet and we're almost done, but that's all the time I've got for today, so why don't we go over to XX splatting your mom XX.
Gosh.
And then, like, you switch over, it's like, yo, what's up, you fucking pussies? It's me, Splat on your mom. And today we're going to be dunking on some hoes, and we're going to make Darth Vader do the gritty on Ariana.
Yes.
And it's going to be poggers. Play the intro.
Yo,
like,
yo.
You know, it's just...
Yo, Phantom, are you saying that we can be playing some poggers with the Ariana Grandes and the Darth Vaders of the gritties? Is that what we're doing?
We're gonna be hitting the gritty on them hoes, and it's gonna be Pog Champion, and I can't wait to get what the fuck is it called? The Crown Royale? I don't know. Crown Royale? That's a drink, isn't it?
That's
I don't
the
know.
battle.
I don't drink and I don't
Apophis?
play Fortnite. I don't know these things. Damn it, Bunny.
Bunny, I'm sorry. You want that Ara?
Oh no.
You're getting dangerously close to Joey Wheeler territory, Val.
Yeah, he is.
Hey, Yugs.
Hey, Yugs. Hey, don't you disrespect our boy Joey Wheeler. Let's hear it. Ara time. Do you want that in that New York accent? Is that what you want? Huh?
What's that? That's the equivalent of an ara. Huh?
All right. Let me get. I almost started to get dipping like a Midwestern accent. Maybe some ara from y'all. Heck yeah. Just imagine. I was just a Midwest. Is Ope like a Midwest ara? The channel is Brooklyn Rage. Somebody watches Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Fine. I'll give you an ara. Do you want that in the Brooklyn accent, or do you want that in the Midwestern accent?
Ara.
Those are your choices. Neither are great, but you're getting it.
They're not gonna sound wonderful by any means.
Chat is just like, I just want to simp. And you're like, you won't get to simp. Not
Forget about it.
Friggin' the ara. Sounds like Sarah Palin.
Oh no, it does.
He says, hey, that ara. Am I right, fellas?
This year we're gonna be running on a platform of the ara.
I know all about the ara because I see them from my backyard.
I am all about the aras and the ooh-woos.
Imagine you get a presidential candidate that says, I will make sure that your aras are fulfilled and that everyone has a goth mommy GF. My platform encompasses femboys and femboy hooters. Let's go.
Your promises are too good.
Whenever I hear promises or political speech, there's only one person I can think of anymore: the meme lord himself,
Jonathan.
Good old Donnie J.
Donnie J.
old Donnie J.
Obama soda. Anyways, even though I can't hear anything.
We are going to ara, and it is going to be huge.
Nobody ara is better than me.
Ever. You're going to love it. My wife told me so. The best ever. None have ever done this before.
All right, you know what voice I have to whip out after that.
Nobody is better than I do. I'm the best.
You know what voice I have to whip out.
All of chat is crying.
Is that
good?
Is that Mr. Gilbert Gottfried coming in? Oh no. Guys,
oh no.
Guys, pushing me away. He's Did I hear somebody talk about aras?
His model snap,
Val,
man.
Forget he can just move his model off screen as he's saying that.
No, he's possessed.
You have props, Val.
He is quite literally possessed by the spirit of Gilbert Gottfried.
I have a strong feeling Val moved away physically in his seat and forgot he could.
Oh, I know he did.
Yeah, no, I did.
can see it.
I heard him. I heard it in his voice that he was like, I'm doing it. I'm being pulled away. And I was like, pull your model. Like,
Listen here, young man. I don't want to hear any more of your sass about my femboy bottom Valentine Smith. That's a reference for those who were here before about my email. Anyway, I'm not going into that. Not getting into that again.
And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Charlie.
am I the only one who can't do a fucking Gilbert Godfrey here?
Yes.
Is it just me? God damn it.
Dude, no, Val and I were playing Fortnite like a month ago with some of my buddies and my cousin. And Val and my cousin were just going back and forth for like half an hour as Gilbert Gottfried to each other, and it was like peak. It was wonderful.
That's amazing.
We almost killed my friend because he couldn't stop laughing.
Because it went from Hugh Neutron for me. It went from Hugh Neutron.
Yes, I love Hugh.
You been hitting the weight, son?
He's like, Hugh, he doesn't know what he's doing. Well, clearly he does. I mean, look at those abs. You've been hitting the freeway, son. And so his buddy was doing like a perfect Donald Trump impression where it's like, where we're talking, we're just like, thank you, Mr. Trump. My son would love to meet you. And he's just like, you're a wonderful person, Hugh Neutron. I thank you for your support. And it just evolved.
That's not Donald Trump. That's Bernie Sanders.
I can't do a Donald Trump. I can do a Bernie Sanders, but I can't do it.
Yeah, you just did it.
Yo, you listen here. I will not have such slander against the man who will, I don't know, legalize more weed again. There you go. There's my Bernie Sanders.
Fimbats unite. I mean, what?
Every man.
Why is it turning into
A battle of impressions.
turn into like the old Jewish man in the park who's just like
That's
sick of
exactly.
people skateboarding too close to his
That's
chessboard.
just what Bernie Sanders sounds like. What do you mean?
I don't watch any, like, here's the thing, I couldn't avoid the president of the United States. I can avoid every other politician.
Smart man.
Yes, get ready for my impression of Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, you're on your own on that one, Chief.
No, I'm doing it right now.
He's doing it right now, yeah.
There
I
it
got
is.
it. That's one I know. That's one I know.
Friggin'
I don't know anything about politics. I do know that man just looks like he's like already died, and then someone just like revived him.
Weekend at Bernie's, dude.
Subtly.
You're on your own, kid, Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
That's because Mitch McConnell is one of our homunculi.
Oh my god.
For those that have seen Full Metal Alchemist, that's me, King Bradley, and Mitch McConnell is one of our homunculi. My goodness. Anywho, let's move past.
How fast can we devolve?
So fast. I mean, you could just go further if you just use any voice and make it breathy, or you can be just about any anime character you want. Usually Fire Emblem though.
Easily.
They're so breathy.
Yeah, I'm Kermit the Frog from
Fuck.
Fire Emblem.
I said breathy. I guess. Breathy? I never thought about it when I
Sorry
did.
about that. I'm Kermit the Frog, and I'm super breathy from Fire Emblem Three Houses. Ah.
Oh, Kermit-chan.
Kermit-chan.
Where you were. I mean, I can do an okay Kermit, but I don't know if Discord will let me do Elmo. Or maybe it will.
This is a
I can do it again.
Oh,
I'm so
yeah?
happy. I have it back.
Who doesn't love to come and make love to Elmo? Because
Whoa! Settle it. Elmo, put the gun down. Elmo, put the gun.
No, I'm not gonna put it down.
Ah!
You're gonna listen to it.
Elmo.
Shit.
Elmo, don't do it. It's not worth it. Put the gun down.
You're gonna let him keep going. After all we've been through. After all the thousands that we've killed.
I can hear his voice is physically straining.
Elmo would like a number 2 Big Mac, and the Geneva Convention was just a suggestion.
Wow. How quickly did this show?
Good lord.
Welcome.
Hey man, you said keep going down the rabbit hole.
I'm sorry. Did you say you wanted Kermit the Frog's Ara? Is that what I heard? What I see?
Is that going to be a Kermit Ara?
Did we ever actually get like the proper Ara that was redeemed?
No, that
No, we
was
didn't.
no.
Not even close.
That was a
we
sound
didn't even
effect.
Do fake ones.
That was a sound effect. Ara. That was not a redeem. Ara. So.
Oh, did you know that?
Yeah, that was the sound effect that played. Anyway,
this one is
for
That
you.
was-
This one's for you, bunny. Ara. Started going like Tim the Bear. What?
The Cleveland. I don't think this is gonna work out very well.
Wonderful. Well, why don't we all give them a nice Ara, and then we'll get back on topic with our next.
You should probably get rid of the fake Ara redeem. That's so confusing.
That's what it's for. It's to weed out those who don't read.
That is true. One to say Ara and the other says Val Ara. I suppose.
This is what I'll do. RRSFX.
There you go.
Perfect. So,
Perfection.
back to the topic at hand. Back to the discussion, because this is a talk show, people, not an impression show where we just.
You sure?
Yes.
Hey, we were talking.
We were.
What if he's a Kermit the Frog VTuber?
Dang, I can't.
Oh, I'll make it
read
happen.
this.
I'll change my entire brand and be the Frog VTuber.
Thank you, Marie. I was getting thirsty. ABC, you're here too.
I don't even recognize that name. That's a new face for me.
That's because they followed yesterday when we were playing with Lethal Company.
Oh, welcome.
Off topic is on topic for the VOD.
That
Robe is
so
right.
true.
How would I define the VOD in a singular acronym? ADHD.
What?
What'd you say? I wasn't paying attention.
Huh? What were we talking about?
Who are you?
Jonathan?
Did
Kevin?
we do those
Kevin.
aras yet?
I don't know. We need to do those aras. Ugh, my throat is thrashed. All right, you ready? I'll start first. On that note, have you whipped out your chart yet? Is that what the kids are calling it?
Yeah. I guess I should do a more moderate one because my low one does not go through Discord. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta get that.
I have to like. It's one of the, you know when you do a voice.
Yeah, you
and,
got-
like,
you gotta-
have to like do it in your head, but you can't do it in your throat because then
Yeah.
you're just doing it at that point.
Yeah.
That's me right now.
Yeah. Oh, that was good. That was real good.
Quispy.
Fair.
Office, do you want in on this? You don't have to if you don't want to.
I don't know. Do you want me to?
I
I've-
want it
I've-
so bad.
I've never Ara'd for somebody
Just
before.
do what I do and do it
Just-
so low Discord just cuts out.
Just
That's what I do.
The Gargura method of
Ooh. Yeah, damn it, Gyro.
ooh e. Wait, ooh e, ooh
Ting ting.
There it
Wada,
is.
wada, wada, bing, bang.
All right.
Okay.
So my biggest advice, if you're doing it for the first time, do it in your normal speaking voice. So if I did it like this is for anybody who wants to do a nice ara and wants to practice. Here you go. This is how you do it. An ara virgin.
I am Robe.
Is your ara? Never mind. I'm not gonna say that.
I'm an Ara vegan.
So for those that want to do it, for those at home who want to do it along with us. This is how you do it. Start in your normal speaking voice. All right. This is my normal register. This is not higher. This is not lower. This is my normal speaking voice. So take it, get real close, and just make it sound really seductive. And that's easier said than done, but all you need to do is just imagine you bit into like the juiciest like orange or like no, hear me out.
I am. I was
Like-
not expecting
like-
that passage of words.
Like imagine that you have like you tasted the best food ever and it's just like that kind of feeling. And so take that and channel that into your ara. So as you do that, you have your normal voice, you come in and just Oh, that was a good one.
That was a very good one. Okay.
There you go. There you go.
That's all you're getting. I'm gonna go sit in front of the mirror for the next 4 hours and
For a
practice my
first one,
aras.
Really good. Actually,
Yeah.
bro, you have heard my uwoos. Don't fucking start with me. You aren't allowed to talk. You aren't allowed to say shit. You're not allowed to say fucking
What?
anything. Ooh.
Hold on. Back up. So you can't do an RR, but you can do a good uwu.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear that again.
There's a fine line.
Let's hear that again. Oh,
What the fuck?
that was like an Aaron Hansen reaction from you, Phantom.
It was a Robe, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna track you down. I don't know where you live. It's been so, you come to my house usually, so I don't know where you live, but the next time,
Don't mind me. You continue.
don't mind me. You're using me to mask your uwu.
No, I'll do it again.
Strategic placement.
I'll do it again. I'll do it again.
Do it again.
All right, all right. Ooh. We're waiting, Phantom.
I'm sorry, just watching the term pussy highlighted and I was like, I'm gonna let Val decide if that's an okay word. I was like, I don't care, but I banned like no words in my chat, but that just watching it pop up was so funny.
Let's go, little man. I want to hear you.
I should just do it deep.
Just
It doesn't pick up. Just
Just
the ooh.
hit
I'll
him
do
with
one
the
deep and I'll-
ooh woo.
with the ooh. Let me see how low I can go. Ooh.
Oh,
oh,
Did it get it that time?
yeah.
that got it.
You gotta hit him with the ooh woo.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, so hold on. I need to know this because I've asked this a million times. No one ever answers me. What is an uwu supposed to sound like? It's
Whatever
like,
you want it to sound like.
Well, cause so here's the thing. Like, RR is supposed to be seductive. Uwu isn't supposed to be seductive, right?
That's what it's supposed to be.
I would say more cutesy than seductive.
Right. Okay.
That's what it's
That's
supposed
what
to
I
be.
thought. Because I was like, I can't do cutesy. That's not me.
Not with that attitude.
I was gonna say anybody can be a bottom.
That
just channel
I
your
actually
inner
will-
Val.
I will hardcore disagree with you on that. I actually don't think that's true.
Well, you're entitled to your.
Asking the furries.
You are
yes,
more than
it's-
entitled to your incorrect opinion. Anybody can be a bottom. You just
I
sounds
wasn't
threatening.
accusing you. I was simply asking.
you just don't know it yet. Anybody can be a bottom. Channel
Oh yeah, Tathan gave a good little reference for you, Phantom,
Oh,
What? Where?
in the chat for the VC.
Oh.
Oh, let me see. Oh no. Oh no.
And I really hope it's the video that I think it is.
Oh no.
It is the one.
Yep, it is the video. Yep. Love that video.
Just the ooh
God. Oh
These streams are a mission to kill me. Yeah.
I don't even know how high I could do it. God, I hope my wife is asleep. Hold on.
I hope she isn't. See, if you don't do a high ooh, I'm gonna force you to say Oni-chan.
You think I won't say Oni-chan?
Do it in the uwu voice, and then whatever voice you do, you have to do
I don't have one. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't.
do a high pitched uwu. Just do it.
Just do it. Full send.
What do you have to lose?
My dignity.
Your uwu virginity is already taken. You might as well keep going.
Like, how high up am I supposed to go? Just as high as I
Just-
physically can? Like,
Just go, ooh, and then follow it with woo.
I feel like it's the drop that's hard. I can go just a high ooh.
Just
like, just
you're ooh, you go up is like you climb up the slide. Woo is you going down the slide.
oh god, I hate this.
No, you don't.
I do. I
And
hate this part.
If I
if
can
you-
do it, Phantom, you can do it.
The RRs are fun. This part is torture.
If you don't want to do it, that's.
I beg to differ.
If you don't want to do it, you are more than welcome to sit it out. We will not force you.
I mean, I did one already. I did a low one. I just can't do a high one.
Okay, then we can move on.
I want to hear a low-pitched Oni-chan.
From me?
Yeah. Apophis, you want to show us how it's done?
Oh, sure.
What?
Or give us an because you suggested it in Oni-chan.
I've only ever done a high-pitched one as a joke, and I'm afraid to do it in a public space.
Ain't nothing public about this.
Welcome to my world.
There's only 14 people watching.
Hey, that's a lot of people in a room, man.
That is a lot of people in a room.
Yeah.
You just Oni-chan.
Oh, that was too good.
That was really good. Okay.
That
yeah,
was-
I can't do it high. I can do it low though.
That was so good. I gotta hit him with the.
Bonk.
That was really good. All right. No, you don't have to worry about that, Phantom.
I feel like this is just gonna sound like I feel like
Say-
I do seduct very well, but I hate that I do it well.
I'd say
Because
if you
it's
did Oni-chan
the opposite.
seductively.
Yeah.
I don't think
What?
I think you're gonna be getting put on a list if that happens.
I mean, I'm gonna try it. I think it's the only way I can do it, right? That's when you scale it down from like, and you just
No.
drop that to like a low register, like. Oh.
Just do it like just do it like Kratos.
I don't know. If I can do it.
Oni-chan. Just goes.
There you go.
He just gets down here. Boy. Oni-chan. Boy. Love freaking Christopher Judge. Oh my. Well, we've got 15 minutes left. Boy. That's exactly.
That's a lot of woo-woos.
That is a lot of ooh-woos. I have one last series of questions to ask you.
Ooh.
And I think they're really fun. Is that it seems to me that you have a very unique style and you have a specific type of drawings you like to do. Care to talk about that a little bit?
I will say I do like to do them, but at the same point, is the only way I know how to draw at the moment. I've done portrait pieces which are heavily inspired by another artist. His name is Dominic Glover. He's a very well-known artist, especially through like conventions and stuff. He's usually a head artist. He started a Patreon a while ago, probably back in February or March, which unfortunately he started it because so many people were stealing his art and trying to pose it as their own and sell it off and whatever. So he basically started a Patreon so that he could go in and distribute the art in the way that he wanted to, but also build a community. And so I basically started out trying to draw full body. It looked terrible. And then he was like, hey, start with focus on one thing. And then in this case, the one thing was like the head. And then I moved on to, the torso and the shoulders. And I've kind of stuck in that space because I'm comfortable in it. And it's also a nice way to kind of help kind of determine the style that I want to go through. So like I used to go in and shade everything like by hand isn't the right word, but like I would shade all of the skin at the same time with different values, and then I would go in and do the clothes with different values. And now I basically will go in, do flat color, and then grayscale everything else, so I can shade it all at once and do consistent coloring instead of whatever it's like the random BS go with Batman throwing the batarangs. That was me for like 3 months.
Huh. And from this, do you find that going and talking and figuring without these people directly offers you the best kind of avenue to improve your artwork? Because you've talked about in the past, and on this show and with me in the past, that you talk with a lot of different people and a lot of different artists and animators out there, And so do you just kind of like try your best to pick and choose and, you know, take some stuff that you've learned from other people and just kind of make it into your own?
Yeah, for sure. There's a guy on YouTube. He used to be an artist for Blizzard a long time ago. His name is Mark Brunette, and he basically is like, he's one of like the greats when it comes to learning how to draw. He has like a whole course, but he also puts out a video every week basically talking about different concepts and everything. And so he was kind of the person that I saw did grayscale shading. So then I kind of took that and put it into what I had kind of already taught myself, and I felt like that improved it a lot. And then talking with other people in these other discords, I basically will go in and I'll post a picture. I post every once in a while. I used to basically do like a step-by-step of my process and get feedback as I was going, because I wasn't as comfortable with where I was and I didn't really know what I was doing. So I'd be like, here's my sketch, here's my line art, and I would get feedback as I went. And then the further on that I kind of developed those skills, it's kind of been, you know, I'll post a sketch and then maybe I'll post those black colors and then I'll post everything done together. But it is extremely helpful. For me, at least, I like thrive on feedback from other people. So like being able to show other people things and then get their input, even if it's not somebody that you know understands everything. Because you know, you go to another artist and you're like, hey, what do you think about this? And they'll rip you apart so quick. Like they'll say, oh, your line weight's not great, or your coloring's off. Which, you know, you could sell art to other artists. That's something that'll 100% happen. But like going to like a consumer and being like, hey, what do you think about this? And like, oh yeah, that looks really cool. They can give like a different view and a different aspect on it that you probably wouldn't have thought about before.
As an artist, do you think and I kind of mightn't already know what the answer you give for this, but which one do you lean more heavily into for criticism in your art? That of the people who are the casual viewer who is seeing it, or the professionals? Because as we talked about before, professionals will see all of the flaws in it and say that it's bad. Well, the average consumer like myself will see it and be like, you know, your model right now, your PNG looks fantastic. I think it looks really good. And then, but you say that there's a couple flaws that you can see in it. So which one criticism do you personally take, and why?
I 100% take both, because yeah. I mean, I pretty much everything I've done in the last couple months, I've sent to you personally and just been like, hey, what do you think? And you're like, oh yeah, that's really cool. And then there have been a couple times you're like, hey,
listen to Val.
Maybe right. He's like, hey, maybe you should change this stuff up. And I'm like, oh yeah, I hadn't thought about that before. And so I definitely benefit from both sides. But when it comes to like actually developing my skill set, I'll lean way more towards not necessarily professionals, but people with proven experience.
That makes a lot of sense. Do you have any wisdom or knowledge to impart on artists that are trying to find their space in the content creation world?
I mean, the biggest thing in any sort of design space is you have to find your own kind of style. It's okay to, you know, study other people and kind of learn from what they've done, but like nobody's gonna go in and buy a piece of art that you've pretty much made a one-for-one reproduction of something someone else has done. You're not gonna, you know, benefit from that. But like I've gone in and I've looked at other people's art. So like the first drawing I did, the first print that I had gotten from the artist that I base a lot of my stuff on was an Android 18 piece. It was a portrait of Android 18 because I love Dragon Ball. I love Android 18, and so I was like, I really want to learn how to draw. And so he basically sent me the image digitally, and he's like, try to take a stab at something like this. And I took my shot at drawing it. I have that picture saved on my phone in an album just so I can go back and look at it. It was terrible. Like I don't like it, but it's really good to be able to see where you were versus where you are, and then see how things change over time and see what you kind of took from where and how that influenced your work. So that's something that I always do. I have a little album saved, and then I also, you know, look around, and basically what it comes down to is you have to find your style, and then you kind of have to find a niche that you really like. So like mine is lately it's been a lot of comic book characters.
Yeah, that is wonderful news, and wonderful news. That is wonderful advice. Because I feel like it's just something that a lot of people just should hear is, and that's like I tell all the time, especially when it comes to the audio engineering world, is find your niche. Because while it's good to be a jack of all trades, if you're not a master at something, then you're going to be pushed to the wayside for somebody who has a specialization in it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, for instance, the people that I work with in my studio, they come from various backgrounds where they want to do specific things. They need to identify their niche. So one of them wants to work in music production. The other wants to do post-editing, editing and mastering. One of them wants to do just live shows and live performances. Me, my focus and my niche is voiceover. And so because of that, we all have our own specializations where we have knowledge and we know where we need to go, where we need to improve on. But because of that, we also lack knowledge in other things. So I'll go to one of my buddies who does live and I'll say, hey, what are your thoughts on this to make this sound, you know, because I'm live mixing a show, what can I do to fix this a little bit? And I go to them for their advice. I'm like, okay, cool. Now I have this knowledge. But I think it's good that you're telling people one of the best things they can do is to find their niche and focus on that. Not shut everything out, but merely make that the focus of your attention. And if things come in from the wayside, accept it with grace and use it in your toolbox of knowledge.
Yeah, for sure. Another thing that I didn't mention is practice. Anything that you're doing in your life, whether it's art or anything else, is, you know, the whole consistency is key. I wouldn't there's this is gonna sound like so cringe and nerdy, but there's a TED talk that basically there's the saying that practice makes perfect, which isn't true.
It's perfect. Practice makes perfect.
It's practice makes improvement. That's true in any aspect of any avenue you go in your life. Like the guy that I follow, blah blah blah, like that was a big part of why I started to take art more seriously. But like the idea that was planted in my head was my last semester in college. I was working on a group project, and pretty much my entire time in college, everything that I did was pretty much vector based. So I used Adobe Illustrator for everything, which I love Adobe Illustrator. It is like my child. I love it so much. But like, I probably touched Illustrator 5 times my last semester of college. Everything else that I did was on Procreate on my iPad. So like, you should also be open to other things and other avenues. Is like, my professors always sat there and they're like, because you know a software really well, don't get hung up on using that piece of software for everything you do. Like I could not use any, I mean, I could use Photoshop, but I don't like Photoshop as much, but like I could not use Illustrator to make most of the art that I've been doing easily. I wouldn't be able to.
What's funny is one of my professors and one of the directors I worked with recently kind of both said the same thing of just if you're going to work in the entertainment industry, don't confine yourself to one video editing software. Because if you do, and it's not that one is better than the other, it's that different clients use different things. So one might use the Mac-based software of Final Cut, which not a lot of people do. I'm specialized in Final Cut Pro. Not a lot of people do use that anymore. You know, some people use Sony Vegas, some people use DaVinci, some people use Premiere Pro. And because of this, having that knowledge and that well-rounded knowledge, that doubles back to what I said is you have that knowledge, but you have that specialization. So if somebody needs me to edit their audio, but they're not using Pro Tools, which is what I'm certified in, they say, hey, I need you to do this in Ableton, or I need you to do this in Logic Pro. You know, I can be like, oh, okay, I know a fundamental understanding of how to do this and a general workflow. Who threw that? Wait, what?
I think Tathan is up to some tomfoolery.
Probably.
Okay. It's I know a fundamental amount about it and the workflow where I can do it if need be. So
yeah,
you know, very good words on that, Apophis. Thank you so much. We're nearing the end of our show, so pardon me. I will then talk about our little outro stuff. Thank you guys so much for joining us, especially Apophis Nova. Thank you so much for being on this show. It's been super fun. We've had a super wonderful conversation. Not to mention if we're talking about DaVinci Resolve, I despise it. Yeah, nobody uses DaVinci Resolve except for the color correction. It's the industry standard for color correction, not much else. Sorry, tangent over.
Tell us how you really feel.
That'll cover more than 2 hours. But yeah, not only did we talk about a lot about graphic design, about the expectations that come with being a VTuber and what you think being a content creator and streamer mean, and those personal guidelines and qualifications. We also had a wonderful time talking about me, who has DaVinci Resolve. I don't anything. I don't use it. Oh. Also talking about how to market yourself, how to put yourself out there on social media, how to improve in your art. Not only that, like 15 minutes of just impressions and RRs and ubus. That was something else. So yeah, thank you so much for being on this show, Apophis. Guess what, guys? Well, I need to plug the Discord. Where's that? Discord. We have a wonderful Discord for the show. If you're joining us today, I encourage you to join the Discord. There's a lot of fun things in there. There's a lot of cool channels. But the thing is, this is the official Discord for the VOD specifically. So if you are a VTuber and you want to be on the show, join it and come talk to me, and I will be sure to get you on the show. There is no requirement. It's a lot of fun. Hooray for Apophis. Yeah, hooray for Apophis. Also, please go support my wonderful co-host, the Phantom Fame, as well as our wonderful, wonderful guest, Apophis Nova. He does a lot of cool stuff. I'm hoping to really see, pardon me, I'm hoping to really see it like an art stream one of these days. That'd be super fun.
It's in the plan. I'm getting a capture card one of these days.
Heck yeah, brother. So with that in mind, I also have a Twitter. It's above me. It's _Valentine0. And yeah, all of this art, this is the individual that does it. Everything on my channel, except for the chat box. I did the programming for that, like the CSS for that. But they don't need to know that. So yeah, but yeah, just join the Discord. The Discord is super fun. I'm going to be chilling in the Discord for, maybe 10 to 15 minutes, who knows, after stream. So if you want to talk to me, come join me over in the general voice chat in the Discord, and we'll have some fun with that. Now, with that out of the way, Phantom, could you ask the last question, the second most important question, if I may say?
Apophis.
Yes.
Do you have anyone you want to raid?
Let me look.
And if
what about Tokyo? Tokyo's playing Teamfight Tactics.
yes. So I'm going to do this because instead of signing off directly on the show, I'm actually going to use my end screen because guess what? I've been told that when we do raids, it cuts off the stream early. So I'm going to make sure that we use my finished screen and then we're going to raid. But in the meantime, let me paste our wonderful raid messages. Ooh. For those who are subscribers, because I was also recently informed of this, for subscribers, here you go. That's the raid message. For those who are not subscribers and who are just followers, guess what? Here is that raid message. So without further ado, my name is Val. This is my wonderfully buff co-host, the Phantom Frame, and I had to, I'm sorry. The Phantom Fame, and this has been our wonderful guest, Apophis Nova. I hope to see you guys tomorrow at 6 p.m. for a Lethal Company collab with Phantom, Cynical, and somebody else who I don't know is going to be in yet. I love you so much, and I will see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Dad.
I got you, son. All right, bye-bye.